In this lesson, we are going to be choosing which questions we want for our trivia game. So we're going to need something to store which of these questions that we have chosen to present in our trivia game. So I'm going to make a new private int array. It's going to be called the question numbers chosen. And I'm going to initialize it here. So it's going to equal a new integer array. And I want there to be 5 questions, so I'm going to make it 5 in length, and just like that, end it there. So, very good. Let's go down to where we're choosing our questions, which right now is just one question, so we can fix that. Let's add a few lines, and I'm going to start by creating a for loop, because we're going to go through a loop to assign all of our questions. Okay, so for, and then parenthesis, int I equal 0, so we have something to use for counting, and then semicolon I, and it's going to be while I is less than, let's see, what was the name of our variable? It was, let's see, question numbers chosen. I'll just go ahead and copy that. So copy it, and then down here I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to type in dot length to get our length. So I'm going to press tab to go ahead and insert that. And okay, cool, we have that. So while I is less than that, then semicolon I plus plus. So we're going to increment I to go through the loop. So I'm going to put a curly brace, another curly brace, put this onto a new line, and now let's put the stuff in between the loop. So firstly, we need to create an integer. So create an integer to be the question number. So this is going to be a temporary thing to hold in our question numbers. So type in question, maybe start that over again, question number, so just num is fine, and we're going to set that equal to, we're going to use the random.range function. So random, we're trying to find a random question, so random.range, if I can get range to come up, I guess I can't, so I'm just going to type in range, and it's going to be a number between 0, so that's the minimum, and up through but not including questions dot length. Okay. So quickly, I'm going to go ahead and say convert. I don't know why that comes up. Sometimes it does. I just say convert. Go back over here. Let that save. Get rid of those errors. Okay. Yeah, I was testing something earlier, so there were a few errors for that. So anyway, going to go back into there. I guess we're good. Okay, so we have that. Everything looks like we're still error-free. So now let's go ahead and create an if statement. So if, and then we're going to create a new function here. I'm going to call this new function number not contained, and then for its parameters, we're going to input the question number chosen. Question numbers chosen. Sorry. So question numbers chosen, and the question number variable we just created. Num, that one there. Okay, cool. And we're gonna go ahead and close that out, and then put in this and that. Now we don't actually have this function yet, obviously. We haven't made it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in there so we can see sort of what it's going to do. So we're going to find a question between 0 and the questions that we have. So that will find a question number, but then we need to see, oh, do we already assign that to our question numbers chosen? So this is going to be what does that. So let's go make that new function. So void, or sorry, not void. Void means to return something. We actually want this to return something because in this function we want this to return true if the number is not contained, and false if it is contained. Okay, so void, and or not void, I keep saying that, bool, that means it's going to return true or false. And it's going to be number not contained, not constrained, contained. And it's going to take 2 parameters. It's going to be a int array, and we'll call this numbers. It's going to take an int, it's going to be called just num, and that'll be fine. And we'll close that out. So that should be good. Now in here, we're going to just create another for loop. So for, and then int I equal 0, I is less than the numbers dot length, and then I plus plus. So this should be fairly familiar by now. We're just going through what we passed in for our numbers array and going through, just going all the way through that. So now we need to check. So if num, which is the number we randomly chose, we're just passing into this as a parameter. If num is equivalent, so double equals, to numbers at I, so just like that, and close it out, put in the new curly braces, then we're going to return, return false. And let's go down. So basically, if it goes all the way through here, through the for loop without ever returning false, then we're going to return true. So what this is doing, one more time, is we're going through all of the numbers here, and we're seeing, okay, this number is num, thing we passed in for num, equivalent to where it's at in numbers. So it's going through making sure that it's not equal to any of them. If it is equal to one of them, then this is going to return false. So then, but if it does get through all of them and it never finds one that's equivalent, then it's going to return true. So if the question num we randomly chose was not in our question numbers chosen, then it's going to return true. So if it returns true up here, then what we need to do is say question numbers chosen at I is equal to question num. So there we go. We've gone ahead and we put in our question number we randomly chose into our question numbers chosen array. So we can go through it like that and get all of the question numbers we need. Okay, so we got that part in there. But we need an else here. So if this does return false, then we need to go ahead and say I minus minus, because we didn't get one, so we need to make sure we go back and get that straightened out. We get something assigned, because otherwise it could go all the way to the end and not end up assigning all of our questions. So we need to make sure, oh, it didn't work out, so do that one again, do that index again, so we can assign something there. So that's it for that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.